the birthplace of Prince Rogers Nelson, aka Prince, aka the artist formerly known as Prince, on June 7th, 1958, and my mother.
You're listening to Queer Money episode number 439, and today we're sharing the most affordable LGBTQ plus friendly city to live in Minnesota. Let's get on with the show.
The mission of Queer Money is to financially empower the LGBTQ plus community. Join us in thanking Capital One for supporting that mission. Welcome back, folks. We are continuing our Queer Cities series here, looking at the most affordable LGBTQ friendly cities in states all across the country. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can check out the whole series here. If you're listening, you can click on that link in your podcast player to catch the whole series.
Last week, we visited Mississippi. For our YouTube watchers, you can catch that episode here. And if you're listening on your podcast, you can check the link in your podcast player.
We wanted to share some more podcast love that the podcast is getting. Chloe from Maine says, I love the range of topics and interviews. I'm really pleased that trans health was covered recently. I'm a cis straight woman raising kids that are LGBTQ. I love that the range of the topics makes me think more about info that is specific to them, but I also get much out of the video for myself. So we're very thankful and thank you for giving us a review. If you feel inclined, please give us a Queer Money rating or review on your favorite podcast player, and then on the Debt Free Guys Queer Money channel on YouTube.
We would love that. Some interesting things about Minnesota. As David said, his mother is from there, and he's got obviously other family that are there then as well. But David's never lived in Minnesota. And sometimes when he drinks a little bit too much, he starts to speak as if he's from Minnesota. So that's a very curious behavior.
Genetics, but you also sound like you're from Pennsylvania as soon as you start talking to your parents on the phone.
But I'm actually from there. So other interesting things about Minnesota. Minnesota is one of our top 20 states for downloads. So thank you to the whole state of Minnesota. And then Minneapolis is our number 12 city for downloads. So thank you, Minneapolis. We appreciate that. Minnesota has most of its population, more than half of its population, live between our winner and our runner-up. So can you guess what those two cities are? Well, you don't have to. We're going to tell you. But part of the reason why there's a lot of migration of LGBTQ plus folks to these two cities, we found is because they act as a refuge for LGBTQ plus people who are from North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Wisconsin. So that's why you see a high concentration of LGBTQ plus folks there. So who is our runner-up city, or which is our runner-up city? That is Minneapolis. Why is that? Well, it got a 100 on the Human Rights Campaign Municipal Equality Index. It's one of two cities to get that 100. Home values come in at $328,000 on average per property, which is kind of in the middle. Rents are $1,597 per month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. That's also kind of in the middle. Cost of living is 120.1% of the national average. Also, no, that's the second highest for Minnesota. Average income is $85,000 per year, kind of in the middle. And median income is $62,000 per year, which is the third highest for the state of Minnesota.
One of the interesting things about Minnesota that John and I really appreciate, it is completely opposite of what we found with Mississippi that we covered last week. In Minnesota, every single city that we looked at had a 55 or higher on HRC's Municipal Equality Index. So doing a really, really good job there. That is probably part of the reason why there are so many people coming from surrounding states into this state, because they feel a little bit more comfortable. The fact that there are laws in place that protect individuals. Tired of all the credit card offers you get from your current credit scoring app? Download CreditWise by Capital One today to avoid them. So who is our winner? Our winner is just across the river from Minneapolis, and that is St. Paul. Why did St. Paul is St. Paul our winner? Well, that's because it got the other 100 on HRC's Municipal Equality Index. Home values come in at $286,000. Rents are coming in at $1,417 per month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, which was the second lowest in the state of Minnesota. Its cost of living, 113.6%, which was right in the middle. Average income came in at $71,000, which was the second lowest of the cities we looked at. And median income was $55,000, which was the third lowest. So a few things going for it, but a few things that are detractors, but still overall, it was our winner.
Exactly. And so for those who are curious, Duluth did come in at a really close number 3. Unfortunately, what kept it out of one of the top 2 spots was home values and rents. They're just slightly more than St. Paul, which is what kept it out. But Duluth is a rapidly growing city. It's just across the water as well. And it's becoming the San Francisco of the Midwest, unfortunately, due to climate change. But keep that in mind as you're thinking about places to migrate. Other great things about St. Paul specifically, it's obviously the state capital. It's one of the Twin Cities. It's twinsies with Minneapolis. And it's one of the highest concentration of Fortune 500 companies in the country. So a lot of prospects for decent income and job opportunities.
St. Paul does have a Pride event that typically happens the second weekend in June. So this year it was June 10th. You can check out the LGBTQ plus magazine Lavender for more information as to what's going on a regular basis and currently in the Twin Cities. And finally, you don't want to miss St. Paul's Winter Carnival. So again, we'd like to congratulate St. Paul and Minneapolis. Thank you all from the area who are listening and doing a great job at being welcoming to folks in the LGBT community.
Financial independence with a checking and savings account that doesn't nickel and dime you with fees. Get a Capital One 360 checking or 360 performance savings account at Capital One today. On next Thursday's Queer Money bonus episode, we're covering the most affordable LGBTQ plus friendly city in the state of Madonna. No, sorry, Michigan, where Madonna's from.
If you'd like to see the results of the cities in each state that we are analyzing, go to queermoneypodcast.com/cities. Click the link in your podcast player if you're listening, or click here if you're watching on YouTube. Thanks and have a great week.